So it seems as though half the club are up for sale. Should they stay or should they go? Hello, my name's Richard and welcome back to my channel over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. Now in this video I just wanted to look at the players who are potentially going to be leaving the club this summer, mainly a lot of defenders, and just to see whether or not it'd be a good deal for the club or whether or not we should try to keep some of them. Just before I get into all that, if you're new to this channel, please click onto the subscribe button so you get notified when I release new videos. There's a lot of good stuff coming up, and if you like this video, please click on the thumbs up as well, because that helps me to grow the channel. And of course, if you've been watching over the last couple of weeks and you haven't subscribed yet, and you are liking the videos, please subscribe as well, because I say that helps me to grow the channel. So just getting into this then, I mean, the news was coming through yesterday quite heavily that Ainsley Maitland-Niles has been in talks with Wolves about a potential 20 to 25 million pound transfer. Now, there seem to be a lot of people have been coming out in support of Ainsley Maitland-Niles, saying we should try to keep him, whereas me personally, I feel as though he's had plenty of opportunities in the team over the last 2 or 3 seasons, but never really managed to hold down a regular place. He's played quite a few games at right back. In fact, most of his games in the first team have been at right back. He's played 100 times actually for the club. I say mostly at right back. He's been quite vocal, hasn't he, that that's not his favoured position. He'd rather play maybe further up the pitch on the wing or in central midfield. I do remember actually one game he had, one of the early games he played in the Premier League for us, he played in central midfield, didn't he? He had a really good game. I think it might have been against West Ham, I can't remember now. And I remember after that game I compared him quite favourably to Michael Thomas. If you remember, Thomas started at right back as well, quite a laid back character, very similar to Maitland-Niles, and his energetic kind of midfield performance that day got me thinking that he could maybe gone on to have been the new Michael Thomas, but it never really worked out that way. I say he played mainly as a right back, and he never really was able to nail down that position. Now, he did get a lot of games, of course, with Hector Bellerin when he was injured for a long time. But again, as soon as Hector Bellerin was back, he got straight back in the team. So he never really able to nail down that role. Now, under Arteta towards the end of last season, he did put in 2 or 3 good performances, didn't he? Do you remember the game at Wolves when he basically man-marked Adama Traore out of the game? He was brilliant that day. He was brilliant in the FA Cup semi-final, playing in the left-hand side actually of the back 5. And of course he played in a similar role in the FA Cup final against Chelsea. He was brilliant in both of them games, but overall he's failed to really establish himself. Now I can understand the club wanting to keep him, and I can understand fans wanting to keep him, because I think, you know, he's a young lad, came through the academy, you know, joined Arsenal 6 years old, came through Hale End. You know, he's nearly 23 now. I just feel as though he should have maybe pushed on a little bit more, and he doesn't. So if we can get 20 or 25 million for him from Wolves, I think that could be a good deal for the club, and it could actually be a good move for him if it's going to mean he's going to get more regular first team football. I'm not sure where he'd fit in at Wolves actually, bearing in mind they played the 3 at the back, the 2 wing backs. The right wing back is obviously Matt Doherty, they're one of their best players, so I don't know how often he'll get a game there. Maybe on the left side we had, say, a few good games for Arsenal there, or maybe he's going to get an opportunity in midfield there. But yeah, I think if we can get sort of between 20 and 25 million for him, I think that'll be a good deal for the club. It's a shame, isn't it, when any young player that's come through our academy has to leave, but if it's for the best and for the best for his career, then we say good luck to Ainsley and thanks for all you've done. The other one coming through, actually quite strong rumours in the last couple of days, is the Hector Bellerin to PSG rumour. PSG apparently are in the market for a right back. There's been rumours that Hector Bellerin has not been 100% happy at Arsenal. He's maybe not quite got his form back, has he, after his bad injury, although he did improve towards the end of this season. He was great in the FA Cup final as well, wasn't he? So my slight concern with selling Hector Bellerin at this point could be the fact that if Ainsley goes and Hector Bellerin goes as well, it does leave us a little bit short in the right back area, doesn't it, or right wing back area. Obviously Cedric Suarez has signed a long-term deal with the club, but he's the only sort of first team right back that we've got. I know we've got 1 or 2 others we can maybe fill in there, but it seems to be, would we be sensible to sell our first choice and second choice right backs? I'm not sure if we would in the same transfer window, because we would probably need to buy a replacement, wouldn't we? So I'm not sure about that one. Again, if we could get good money for him, which I'm sure we would, he's at a good age, isn't he? Hector Bellerin, but we'll see about that one. I personally would be tempted to keep Hector Bellerin because I still think he's got a lot to offer, and he's vice captain of the club as well, let's not forget, so he's well respected, and I'd be tempted to definitely keep him unless it's going to be a really good deal. Elsewhere, of course, Socrates has got interest from Napoli. He's hardly played, did he, since the lockdown, just the FA Cup final, wasn't it, briefly, the last minute or two. He's been a fully committed player to Arsenal. I know he says he wants to stay and he likes living in London and stuff like that, but I don't think he's in Arteta's long-term plan. So if we can get some money in for him, I think that'll be a good deal, both for him and for the club, if it's going to mean he can play some regular football. And again, it'll be a case of, thanks for all you've done and good luck with that move. Another player who looks like they probably are going to be leaving is Sead Kolasinac. Schalke are apparently interested in taking him back. He never really worked out for him, did it, unfortunately, with us. He had a really good first season, didn't he? I think he scored 5 goals. Looked a really good player, but he's never really pushed on from there. And of course now he's dropped down the pecking order, hasn't he, behind Kieran Tierney for that left back or left wing back position. So his opportunities in the team are probably going to be a lot less next season. I'm not sure whether or not his wage is going to be a problem. I don't know whether Schalke are wanting to loan him. I've been hearing, so that needs to be maybe sorted out, but I'm sure if we can get him out, it might be better for him as well, get him again some more regular game time. And he obviously was a good player at Schalke, wasn't he, originally, so that could be a good move again for him. There's a couple of other ones actually which I'm not so sure about. Rob Holding, now apparently Leeds United are interested in Rob Holding. Of course, Leeds just promoted to the Premier League. I mean, that could actually be a good move for him. Back up north, obviously where he's from, and say he's staying in the Premier League as well. Now, his form has been very inconsistent, hasn't it, since he's come back from his injury. Another player who suffered an ACL. He was playing really well before that, wasn't he, if you remember, under Unai Emery. He had a great run of form, and of course going back a bit further to the 2017 FA Cup final when he was absolutely brilliant. But in recent months he's not looked as good as he when he's played. He's been a bit shaky, he's looked a bit off the pace of the game. He did okay in the FA Cup final in the end after a shaky start, but with the centre backs that we've got at the club now, is he going to get a game? I'd actually be quite sad to see Rob Holding go, because I always felt as though he had the potential to be a really good player for us. It hasn't quite worked for him yet, and maybe the move to Leeds might actually be the best thing for him. So again, if we can get some good money in for him, maybe that's going to be a good thing to do for the club. But I'd be a little bit sad to see him go, if I'm honest. Another one's Callum Chambers. Of course, he's still currently out injured, isn't he? Another ACL. We seem to have had a lot of them, don't we, in defence over the last few years. Again, he was in good form, wasn't he, before he got injured? But again, with all the players that we've got now in the defence, central defensive areas, how much game time is he going to get in the future? I'm not really sure if he will. I think he'll end up being just a squad player when he's fit. And does he want more than that? He's apparently Fulham are interested in him. If you remember, he had a really good season here, didn't he, on loan? He won their Player of the Year that season in the Premier League when they got relegated a couple of years ago. So that could be a good move for him. He can stay in London, stay in the Premier League. That could work out well for him. So there's that obviously possibility there. That could be a good move for Callum Chambers. Although, as we were saying before, if we do sell Ainsley and we sell Hector Bellerin, then obviously Callum Chambers can fill in at right back as well. So that's something the club need to think about. But again, if we can get good money for him, I think that might be a good move. And then finally we've got Shkodran Mustafi. Apparently there's 2 or 3 clubs interested in him. I know last summer when the club were desperate to get rid of him, there was no interest. And now he's had a good run of form, didn't he, before his injury, so apparently there's a bit more interest in him now. I personally would be tempted to keep Mustafi. Again, he can play right back if necessary. He could cover the right back position. And I think he put in some really good performances, didn't he, under Arteta towards the end of the season until his injury. So I think he'd be a good squad player to have. We can't sell everybody. We can't just have 4 or 5 defenders. We do need a couple in reserve. And I'll be tempted to keep Mustafi, actually, because I do feel as though his experience and his performances have justified that for me. But we'll see what happens with that. Again, if it's going to be a good deal, if we can get decent money for him, then again that might be something that's worth looking at. But I would certainly be tempted to keep him and Hector Bellerin. The rest of them, maybe, if it's a good deal, let's move them on and let's rebuild the team under Arteta's vision. So that's it there. Let me know what you think about some of these players, whether you think we should keep them or whether we should get rid of them. There seems to be a lot of sentiment around Ainsley at the moment, which I understand, but looking at it practically, it could be a good move to get rid of him. But let me know what you think about all of that. Who should we keep? Who should we sell on? And also as well, obviously, we still haven't had any confirmation yet of Gabriel, have we? But apparently the deal's done. He's passed his medical and he's signed a 5-year contract. They're just waiting to release the official unveiling, if you like, of that one. So I think that's going to happen now in the next few days. And now I am hearing some rather negative news about Thomas Partey, that we wasn't going to match the, or we wasn't going to pay the release clause for him. If we can sell some of these players, maybe we can raise the funds and do it. But instead, maybe our move might be instead for the Lille midfield player Soumane, who is only 21, a little bit less experienced and a bit more raw than Thomas Partey, but he's a similar sort of player. And he maybe might be the one we go after, a little bit cheaper, and someone that maybe Mikel Arteta can develop and mould into the player that he wants. So that's a possibility. So maybe look out for that one instead now. Certainly if the Thomas Partey deal doesn't go ahead, I'd be surprised if there's not a lot more news coming through about Soumane. So obviously we're dealing with Lille at the moment with Gabriel, aren't we? So I don't see any reason why this maybe can't be done as well, and he could be a good alternative if we can't get the Thomas Partey deal done. So let me know what you think about that as well. He's actually from Senegalese descent as well, isn't he? So a little bit of Patrick Vieira maybe in him as well. Let's hope he can have a similar impact if we do sign Soumane as well. So I say that's that for today. If you like the videos I'm doing, please click the subscribe button so you get to keep updated with all the videos that I'm doing. I'm hoping to have a live show later on this week in the build up to the Community Shield. I'll also be doing a Community Shield preview show as well, a bit later on in the week as well. And then next week I've got a live show booked in, very special guest, which I'll release details of that coming up soon. Plus as well, obviously there's going to be some transfer news as well. I'm sure I'll have to bring you in the next few days, next week or so as well, as we move towards the start of the new Premier League season. So I say please like this video. If you like it, give it the thumbs up, and also click on the bell to get notifications every time I release a new video, to stay up to date with everything I'm trying to do here. So that's that for today. I hope you enjoyed that, and of course in the meantime, as always, we always end the same way, don't we? Come on you Gunners!